Hello my crafty friends, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and thank you for joining me for our mixed media layout for day number 25. Today I am joined by the fantabulous Chrissi. She is definitely the mixed media queen to me. She is from Australia over here with us as well, and she just loves getting messy and creates such amazing things. So definitely pop down into the description box to check her out. And then we are joined again by the fabulous Heather. So hopefully you've already popped over to her channel to see her take on the rainbow prompt, but she has decided to join us again for this fantabulous prompt of mixed media. So definitely pop on over to her and check her out as well. It is also Mixed Media Frenzy, and I am scrap lifting the layout you can see up in your top left hand corner. It is a gorgeous little prompt layout, and I'm not gonna lie, it's put me quite a bit out of my comfort zone, and I really did spend a lot of time fluffing around with this layout. In fact, I made it 3 separate times. Yes, 3 separate times. I screwed it up and threw it in the bin twice before I stuck with this. And I'm not talking like a little bit of the process. I completed the entire layout 2 times before I stuck with this final version here. So the layout that we are copying is by Jana, I think, Jana. Designed for Lindy's is what it is called. Designed for Lindy's by Jana. Could be a T though. T-A-N-A or J-A-N-A. Sorry, the font wasn't completely clear. And it was a beautiful layout. So I've started by creating a mixed media background where I put texture paste through my stencil, and then I put gel medium through my stencil. Now that has completely dry, I left them both. So I did the texture paste first, let that dry, then the gel medium second, and let that dry. Now the gel medium pretty much dries clear. You can't really see it, but it certainly adds a little texture, a little pop of feel to the layout that I really felt that this needed. It really needed that sort of textury feel to it, because the original has got beads and quite a lot of chunky embellishments that I knew I couldn't replicate, so I had to use my texture pastes and things like that to sort of get the majority of my feeling from. I then obviously did a really light mixed media background and with the watercolors, and I'm just showing you here what I've layered up. So I got a big chunk of sparkly foam and then 2 little pieces of this kind of netting or mesh that I stapled onto the foam. I then matted my photos and then stuck those on top of all of that. And now I'm going to stick that whole process down. You can see that it's a big mess on this side. That's because, as I mentioned earlier, I really truly have created this layout 2 times already. And I just had to pull them all off. So sorry about that. Some of my clusters are already a little bit created, but that's okay. We can work with it. So I'm then going to stick this whole little bunch down of my photographs. I want it to be quite low down, but not too low. Placement is super important. I think with this, there's quite a lot of white space, so I really want to make sure I'm doing that justice. And you can see there that I had a little cluster already made. It's a flower cluster with a frame, or with 2 frames, a circle frame and a square frame. And then I'm just adding in a few other little flower pieces as well, just to help sort of thicken that up and create the layers that are created by the sprigs, the leaf sprigs that you can see in the original. On the little pink frame that's sticking out underneath the photograph, it has the words "Best Day" written in gold that I really wanted to make sure were included and that you could see in the layout. So I'm going to glue that all down flat. And then I've taken one of my homemade tulle bows. If you are interested in how to create those, let me know and I'll pop a link down below. I've popped those up on foam, so it's sitting flat on the, it's stuck flat onto the page, but the bow itself is now high enough to go over top of the photo. And then I'm going to layer in some of these little flower pieces. I'm a sucker for flower pieces, so that little tiny one that I insisted on including that I fussy cut from the edge of the 12 by 12 pattern page. I just couldn't miss out on it, so I just add it all on. And then there's a few little teeny tiny flowers that I want to make sure they get on the page, so I'm sticking those down as well. And then I'm going to move on to my next little cluster. Now, I actually had issues with my filming on the second part of my layout, and you'll notice that my background is a little bit different and the lighting's a little bit brighter. This was from one of my other attempts at creating this layout, just showing you the second half of how I put out the rest of my ephemera. It's exactly the same. And there will be some close-up photos at the end, but I didn't realize that my camera had stopped filming, so I thought it was better to show you at least me doing it once than not doing it at all. So I put on that super gorgeous layered love heart, material love heart, that is from Charms Creations, which I just love. I find them really hard to use, but when I do get them onto a layout, I just love them. I do also off camera add another flower cluster over next to the love heart, so I'll definitely point that out to you when I show you the close-up photographs. Just putting two tiny word phrases, which is keep smiling and friends, because obviously there's a picture of my bridal party there as well. And I'm also going to put that super cute So Sweet tag in as well, because I really like it and I think that it's a nice addition to the flower cluster over on that side. I keep the title looking good, but I actually move it further down so it's closer to the word good. And I also get some blue rhinestones and some, I guess, like stickles. I think it's called Kindy Glitz, that I squeeze out of its bottle and put some little sparkly dots. So I'll definitely point those out to you in the close-up photos as well. At the moment, I'm just making a little teeny tiny foam heart because I had a ripped edge that I wanted to cover. Didn't want that to still be there. So this is the final product. So you should be able to see in the photos there that I've moved the looking part down. You can see just in the top of the photograph those three little sparkly dots, an extra flower cluster, and yeah, this is the completed layout. So make sure you check the description box down below. I've got links to the fabulous Chrissi and Heather, and of course Laura Alberts, and I've also got links to all the other Mixed Media Frenzy girls who of course participate each and every week with Mixed Media Frenzy. Thank you so much for watching and for sticking around, and I hope you will join us again tomorrow.